Imagine your will as iron, something that needs to be forged, not through a single moment of strength, but through consistent, steady effort. This is the Iron Path method, a way to build real discipline inspired by ancient masters, monks, and mystics who understood that true strength isn't built in an instant. They saw discipline as a lifelong journey, a process of refining oneself every day. In this video, we'll explore how these timeless practices can help you cultivate an unbreakable will and inner mastery. Part 1. The Foundation of Discipline, Bodhidharma, and the Zen Mind. Bodhidharma, the founder of Zen Buddhism, believed that true discipline required unity of mind and body. When he arrived at the Shaolin Temple, he saw that the monks struggled to maintain focus and strength both physically and mentally. To help them, he taught that one must temper oneself like iron, using practices of stillness, breath, and physical exercise to build resilience. Discipline, to Bodhidharma, wasn't about pushing through sheer force of will, but about refining oneself daily, shaping mind and body together into something strong and steady. These teachings caught the attention of Max, who had always struggled to stay on track with his own goals. Max admired disciplined people, but had never managed to achieve that kind of unbreakable focus himself. Determined to change, he decided to try Bodhidharma's approach by starting small. He committed to just 5 minutes of morning meditation each day, using it as a daily practice to build his discipline from the ground up. At first, even this simple task challenged him. As soon as he sat down to meditate, his thoughts wandered to his tasks for the day, his worries, and random distractions. But each time, remembering Bodhidharma's teachings, Max gently brought his attention back to his breath, practicing the art of returning to the present moment. The first few days were frustrating. His mind constantly drifted, but he pushed through, recognizing that every time he brought his focus back, he was sharpening his ability to concentrate. Over time, those 5 minutes of daily meditation became an anchor in his day. Max started noticing changes. He felt a little calmer, a bit more focused, and even more patient in his daily life. Tasks that once seemed overwhelming felt more manageable. By simply showing up for this practice each morning, Max was planting the first seeds of a disciplined mind. This small act of commitment grew into a source of strength. Just like Bodhidharma's monks, Max found himself developing a calm, steady presence that others could sense. He was no longer easily distracted or thrown off course. Instead, he was building an iron mind, one that didn't rely on dramatic changes, but grew stronger through these consistent, focused actions. Through Bodhidharma's teachings, Max had begun to forge a foundation of discipline that would guide him along his journey on the Iron Path. 2. Daily Rhythm, Saint Benedict and the Monastic Way. In the 6th century, Saint Benedict of Nursier developed a structured lifestyle for monks, known as the Benedictine Rule. This rule wasn't just a set of regulations, it was a way of life, built around the core principles of ora et labora, prayer and work. Benedict believed that a balanced rhythm of prayer and labor was essential for cultivating a disciplined and peaceful mind. For Benedict's monks, daily life followed a steady rhythm, from morning prayers to afternoon work to evening reflection, forming a disciplined lifestyle centered on inner growth and spiritual development. This rhythm had a deeper purpose. It wasn't just about following a schedule, but about aligning each part of the day with a sense of purpose. Work became an act of discipline, prayer a source of inner strength, and reflection a moment of insight. Benedict taught that discipline wasn't simply about doing, it was about being, about cultivating an attitude of humility, silence, and obedience. These values weren't weaknesses but strengths, training the monks to develop quiet resilience and self-control. This approach gave them a deep sense of peace and mental clarity, qualities that shaped their lives and their impact on others. Benedict understood that this structured rhythm created a space for the monks to focus on what mattered, eliminating distractions and grounding them in a life of purpose. Silence allowed them to look inward. Humility helped them stay grounded, and obedience taught them to respect both themselves and the community. Through this rhythm, they were building a foundation of mental discipline, that carried them through even the toughest moments. It was a life of simplicity, but within that simplicity lay a remarkable strength. For Max, the idea of ora et labora was eye-opening. His life felt like a mix of scattered goals, tasks, and routines that rarely left him feeling accomplished or balanced. Inspired by Saint Benedict's approach, Max decided to introduce his own version of a daily rhythm. He set aside specific times for focused work, rest, and reflection, aiming to bring more structure and purpose to each day. To start, Max chose 3 simple time blocks: a morning period for focused work, a short break for quiet reflection, and an evening routine to wind down. His goal wasn't perfection, but consistency. He wanted to see if creating this simple rhythm could help him stay disciplined. In the morning, Max tackled his most challenging tasks, giving his full attention to one project at a time. By the afternoon, he paused for a few moments of reflection, reviewing his progress and considering any challenges that arose. Finally, he dedicated his evening to unwinding, ensuring that his day ended on a calm note. Max quickly noticed that this rhythm gave his day a sense of flow. The structure helped him stay focused, but it also allowed him to let go of stress and avoid the constant cycle of all work, no rest. Like Benedict's monks, he found that building these small routines brought a sense of peace to his life. Instead of feeling restless or scattered, he began to feel more balanced, more in control, and more connected to his goals. With each day, Max was learning that discipline wasn't about rigid rules or endless to-do lists. It was about finding a rhythm that allowed him to cultivate quiet strength and resilience. Through this daily structure, he was building his own version of the Benedictine rhythm, one that provided focus, purpose, and mental clarity. By following this steady path, Max was experiencing the transformative power of a disciplined life, shaped by moments of work, rest, and reflection. Part 3. The Forge of Character, Xunzi, and Self-Cultivation. Xunzi, an influential Confucian philosopher, held a unique perspective on discipline, seeing it as an ongoing process of self-cultivation. For Xunzi, discipline wasn't merely a matter of restraint, but a process of shaping oneself, much like iron being forged in fire. He believed that people are not naturally virtuous or disciplined. Rather, they must actively shape their character through repeated intentional actions. In Xunzi's view, each disciplined action served as a strike in the forging process, slowly transforming one's mind and heart over time. Central to Xunzi's teachings was the idea that discipline builds character by overcoming one's base impulses and desires. Instead of giving in to fleeting emotions or whims, Xunzi emphasized the importance of choosing virtuous actions consistently, regardless of immediate gratification. Each act of patience, each decision to show kindness, or each moment of focus was, for Xunzi, like hammering iron, gradually strengthening the mind, tempering emotions, and shaping character. Through this process, individuals could cultivate a resilient, refined inner self that stood firm amidst life's challenges. Xunzi's philosophy is a reminder that discipline is not about achieving perfection in a day. It's about choosing small, meaningful actions that align with one's values and goals. Over time, these choices accumulate, forming the foundation of a strong character. This concept of self-cultivation is about growth that is gradual yet powerful, a transformation that is felt deeply within and resonates outwardly in one's life. Inspired by Xunzi's teachings, Max saw that discipline wasn't just about controlling his actions, but about building his character. He decided to set a personal goal to cultivate patience, recognizing that it was an area he struggled with daily. Instead of expecting an instant change, Max approached it like Xunzi's process of forging iron, one small act of patience at a time. Max started with simple, everyday moments. When waiting in line, dealing with a slow response, or facing a setback at work, he would consciously practice patience instead of letting frustration take over. Each time he chose to pause and take a breath, he saw it as a small strike, gradually forging his character. Some days were harder than others, but he reminded himself that each small choice was part of a larger transformation. Over time, Max felt a shift. By practicing patience in these small moments, he noticed himself becoming calmer, less reactive, and more focused. The discipline of self-cultivation was no longer something he struggled with, but something that shaped his identity. Through repeated intentional actions, Max was gradually developing an iron will, a steady resilience that gave him strength in all areas of his life. Just like Shunzi taught, his discipline was no longer just about actions. It had become part of who he was, a strength he could rely on. Part 4. Saint Ignatius and Spiritual Strength. Saint Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuit order, was a master of integrating discipline with spiritual growth. He saw discipline not just as a means of self-control, but as essential for cultivating spiritual resilience. Ignatius believed that a disciplined mind was a tool for drawing closer to God, and he developed a series of practices known as the spiritual exercises that combined reflection, prayer, and self-discipline. His exercises aimed to purify the mind, strengthen one's faith, and align actions with spiritual values, helping individuals cultivate a faith-based discipline that provided purpose and strength. Ignatius's approach was built on daily practices that guided followers in reflecting on their thoughts, desires, and actions. He encouraged people to question what drove them, aligning their intentions with their faith rather than fleeting emotions or distractions. Ignatius believed that by consistently reflecting on one's choices, a person could gradually strengthen their spiritual character. This wasn't about rigid restrictions, but about building a life where each choice and action served a deeper purpose, guided by faith and devotion. A core component of Ignatius's spiritual exercises was the daily examen, a self-reflection practice where individuals would review their day, examining where they had aligned with their faith and where they had fallen short. This routine helped followers build awareness of their thoughts and actions, fostering discipline by reminding them of their values. Ignatius taught that this habit of reflection sharpened spiritual resilience, helping people develop an unwavering inner strength that could endure even the toughest challenges. Max was drawn to Saint Ignatius's teachings as he searched for a way to ground his discipline in something more meaningful. Inspired by Ignatius's spiritual exercises, Max decided to introduce a practice of daily self-reflection, choosing to end each day with a few moments of journaling. He would sit quietly, reviewing his day and considering how his actions aligned with his values and goals. For Max, this wasn't about judging himself harshly, but about creating a habit of awareness that would guide his future actions. As the days went by, Max found that this small daily practice of reflection began to shape his mindset. He became more aware of his choices, more thoughtful about his actions, and more grounded in his values. He noticed that he felt calmer, more focused, and more resilient in the face of stress. Each evening, he would write about moments when he had acted with patience, kindness, or focus, as well as moments where he felt he could improve. This practice helped him connect discipline with purpose, strengthening not only his actions, but his spirit. Over time, Max's nightly reflection became a powerful tool for growth. By following St. Ignatius's example, Max was cultivating a discipline that wasn't just about productivity or self-control. It was about nurturing his character and aligning himself with a greater purpose. Through this process, he was building spiritual resilience, developing a foundation of faith-based discipline that supported his journey on the Iron Path. The Iron Path method we've explored isn't a quick fix or a shortcut. It's a way of life rooted in the wisdom of ancient traditions. Each practice offers a powerful approach to building real, lasting discipline. Together, these perspectives remind us that true discipline is about patience, reflection, and a deep sense of purpose. Building discipline is like forging iron. Each small, intentional action strengthens us over time, gradually transforming our minds and character. It's a journey that requires commitment, but each step forward brings us closer to becoming our best selves. If you're ready to walk the Iron Path and build an unshakable foundation of resilience and focus, don't forget to subscribe.